So we basically
Once
just
you
need
go
to
live,
run.
we'll fuck them up.
Yay! So welcome to the stream. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, thank you for joining us. We're still going forward with our plan here. So let's go down. Let's go downstairs. So over the weekend, I did some work. He's been feeling a little under the weather. So so this is the first one I kind of built where I was like, oh, let me build a bunch of lasers and like build massive stuff down here and this big laser wall and transfer like all this power that we built from the power station, and this would be helpful. And then I realized that I'm gonna need more power down here anyway, because trying to transfer that much power that far is ridiculous. So I built a power station down here, and then I built another station down, and we uncovered this bad boy, and he's being angry. And then I was like, oh, let me try something crazy, because I had to dig quite a ways with this one. See if I got it back to the center here. It's a long ways. So this side, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me try something stupid. So I just basically I ran a beam out with batteries on it so I could charge my suit when I got cold. And then I just made 3 things. Ran freeze on down here and just built this monstrosity. And look, it works just as well. It's weird. Put some juice back in the old in the tank here. So I don't know if we want to start probably start with like this one or the 2 on the other end.
I don't know which one you're at. I've already started laying pipe.
Okay.
No, damn it, game. Oh, there's 300 pipe I'm not getting back. Screw it.
Did it go straight vertical?
Straight vertical.
That's good. So. Yeah, I did that with Mark III batteries last night. So, because I think, Mr. 18, how you doing this morning? We're gonna see how many cryo spawners we can kill in a day.
Hopefully 4.
We are definitely aiming to 4. So we kind of just went and showed the other 2. So now down here, these 2 are pretty much laid out the same way. I don't see it. Oh wait, you may be down here.
Ow. Joint pains are back.
I don't see lob coming out of either one of those. So those 2 are basically there's 3 thermal generators, freeze on plugged into them, and then just fairly close to the cryo spawner.
I need to clear the cryo here.
I'm still trying to figure out where you are.
There happens to be some cryo in the way of the pipeline. Oh, good. I'm pretty sure my voice is having a moment again. That's good. I love that.
Yeah. Tired's not the best. I'm kind of tired myself. Spent yeah, I don't see.
I haven't managed to make it to
This looks like lava pipe.
Yep, this one. This is the one I'm on.
So I don't know if we want to wait for this one to the last.
Well, I'm trying to run all the pipe. That way I've got all the pipe run. Because we can just chop and change pipe more bends as we need to. It's just... getting it there is the problem. I was hoping that the bombers would high speed deal with this, but they seem to be low speed slacking today. Yeah, I've got to get the pipe up to here and then forward onto the corner. So, well, this one should when the Falco bombers wake up and
I'm gonna mark in this area. We'll see if the area is still here when they get here.
Yeah. Alright, well, why don't we leave that one and woohoo, that was a bit close. And head to another one. So what one do you want me to do first?
Well, either basically, I think we should save this one for last. So either go the other side from this one, or on the basically the other side. There's the two down there, because those are all the. This I think this is the strongest one.
Alright. Well, okay, so let's go this way. Here we can see the pipe that went up. Maybe I should do less talking today.
Yeah, that's fine if you need to save your voice. Kind of like you have a reason.
Yeah. Should we explain why, or just we're just gonna say that I'm sick?
Well, you can if you want to say that you know that's. I will leave that up to you, Pete, whether or not you want to say that's your medical history. It's not my place to discuss it.
Okay.
So
the question I more intend to ask is, will it be an issue for you or your channel, given the current social state of Twitch and all that, if I reveal what I am sick with?
I don't see why it would be a problem. It is what it is. Like I if somebody has a problem with well, at this point, if somebody's watching, I'm pretty sure they figured it out. But
well, yeah, but yeah,
yeah, like, I don't know if it's a banned word on Twitch, but at this point, well, so we'll change the subject, and so let's talk about TwitchCon for a second. What's that?
So on YouTube, we have to call it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, or something other,
Yeah, because if not, you get that flag on the bottom of the screen saying that you're a horrible person, and you get wiki pages attached to you. So So TwitchCon,
Oh
we all
god.
know that the poor streamer that broke her back in 2 places in the foam pit, right?
Yeah.
She has made a return to streaming.
Good on her.
So she made a video where she was basically, showed off her, that she was able to stand, and that she was doing better, and showed her scar and talked about a little bit of it. I didn't watch all of it, and evidently at some point the information came out that she didn't know it at the time, but she was pregnant. Notice I said was.
Oh.
So in the midst of everything else, breaking her back in 2 places and everything else, it sounds like she lost the baby in the process of all the trauma and everything, which just makes it so much worse and so much like
Damn.
it was already a bad situation, but that's just makes it worse. So yeah, it's just a crazy just freak accident. Well, let me rephrase that. That was not a crazy freak accident. That was, as far as I'm concerned, gross negligence on the part of somebody that probably threw something together at the last minute, thinking, "Oh, this will be fun to do," with no regard to people's safety. Not a fan of it.
Yeah.
So I am glad that she is back on her feet and back to streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, what a flipping mess.
Oh. Hopefully life gives her another chance at the
Yeah, I hope life brings to her whatever she wants it to bring. Like I hope, she, it's because that's sucked, man. But like just talking about picking somebody when they're down, like it's, I don't know if I should.
like I wasn't planning on soapboxing this morning, but
Yeah.
and this is why we need, and it's sad, but in the US it's particularly bad for this, is better worker rights, because
Yeah.
and that whole occupational health and safety that applies to everything to be enforced.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how shit works in the US, but in Australia, if you want to have a ball pit and a convention hall, the convention hall have to sign off on the ball pit being safe.
Mm-hmm.
And an OHS inspector has to inspect it and approve of it before people are allowed near it. It's like we have regulations on this up the wazoo.
Yeah. I would assume that basically they made them sign waivers to go in it, basically alleviating them from that. And I'm sure the lawyers are going to have a field day with that, right? But here's the issue, right? Twitch is fixing to get into, there's going to be some murky waters ahead. because for all intents and purposes, she's a independent contractor, right? And in the U.S. we have something called an independent contractor, which basically the way our tax form works, you get a 1099, and Twitch is just basically saying you're your own business. We're contracting you for this work, so all the requirements for the hours you work and the pay rate, all that stuff, that's on you. We're gonna pay you X amount for this. But so as a streamer, you have no insurance, you have no all that stuff because you're your own personal business, right?
Yeah.
So Twitch is gonna, I'm sure, use we had them sign a contract. We're not responsible for what happened. But there's a big difference between, like me going to buy a car and driving it down the road and me driving too fast and wrecking my car. That's on me. That's my fault. It's another thing if I'm driving down the road and my car explodes because of a manufacturer's defect. So if I go to work and I have a team building event, that, by the way, is mandatory that you have to attend, and the team building event is curling on the ice, and we send several people to the hospital for stitches, there's usually some sort of investigation that goes on. And then you have to go through, and every single person is pulled into a room and ask what the hell was going on and why we were doing it and all this other stuff. And you get questioned really bad about whether or not you fell on the ice and if you hurt yourself and, all this other stuff. I fell on the ice myself, but I had learned how to fall in my young adulthood, so I didn't actually hurt myself. Oh wait, no, this all happened when I worked for I Am Flash. We had a team building event where we went curling, and a lot of people got out on the ice and just thought that you could just walk around on the ice. It's freaking ice. What the hell's wrong with you? So a lot of people, like we had one guy that they ended up calling an ambulance on him and carrying him off on a stretcher. Like he fell hard. Ended up, I think, with 8 stitches in his eyebrow. So there were some investigations. And guess what? Even though we signed waivers, we were all there. Obviously we had insurance through work, so all that stuff worked. He went on workman's comp, like all that stuff. So, because that's the right thing to do. So, I think at minimum, it should be treated as a work-related injury. I think she should be paid out like whatever her normal pay rate, or normal expected pay rate for any streams that she missed. She should be paid out for. I think all of her medical bills should be covered. I think at minimum, and then it be treated as a work-related injury. Whether or not that's going to happen or not, or if she's going to end up with some sort of settlement. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of settlement where she'll have some hush money thrown at her or something. Yeah, it's the how this is all handled and stuff like that is this can make or break Twitch. So this is definitely going to be a black eye, and with some of the other things that have already been happening, it's only going to get worse. So I think it's doing that thing where it's just firing for no reason.
Build a wall behind where it's firing or shooting at. That's 4 or 5 blocks thick, and then it'll detect that it's, hit a wall next time and actually stop.
Oh, another one's firing. No, it actually looks like it's destroying stuff. It may just because that's where the the spawner actually is. So that will make this good fire anymore.
Fair enough. Alright, I'm currently crafting more Inferno blocks because, well, I went to collect the 27 of them, and I got 25.
Yay! Right.
So now I have 30.
Yeah, it's probably good to have an extra one or two. We have a tendency to lose those things sometimes. So yeah, so I'm glad she is literally back on her feet. I'm glad she is doing better. I'm glad for the most part, and all things considered, she seems to be doing okay. I wish her all the luck in whatever endeavor she goes into the future. And I hope that her whatever her dreams are come true. So, because I don't follow her very much, and I don't. Okay, it's not firing. I did finally see a video of the start of her jump. Oh my dude, it just like knowing how it turns out, like it's hard to watch.
I am almost, or I'm out the corner rather with the Inferno, so I'm ready to make a boy toasty.
Alright, well, I say do it and see what happens.
Okay. Let's find where Gangly McGangly is. There he is. Sorry, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there isn't enough space.
Need more space? Where you at? You're not over here. Did you go to the other side?
Well, this just got more dangerous. Please don't fire up other Dazzlers. Excuse me, Lancers. I require some assistance. Please remove the cryo. Post haste. I know that sound and I don't want to be here.
You're gonna be on the other.
I'm directly across from the one that we were at. I literally
that's where
turned
you
the
were,
tab around and
but
went the other way.
I didn't see you.
Well, right now I'm above a Dazzler, so I'm not exactly in the safest spot.
It happened.
Unfortunately.
This place is kind of dangerous.
Ooh, I know what I could use. Hey, do you remember where some of those cryo mines I left just lying around are? Near the
Think
green
so?
pulse cities.
I seem to remember some of them somewhere.
If you can grab one and bring here.
I'm busy trying to barbecue a Yeti right now.
I don't recommend barbecue Yeti. The fur gets everywhere.
Yeah, they're kind of ornery. Yeah, there's some.
If you could just bring them. Because I can use those to detonate a section of cryo and then slap the rest of the
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Charge the goddamn thing. Why won't you charge it?
Oh, that reminds me. I'm carrying 31 Arthur charging stations.
She just part putting those everywhere.
We're going to start putting Arthur charging stations in places. So,
Yes, everything down here kills you. The disco beam kills you. The dazzlers kill you. Actually, standing on top of the geothermals doesn't kill you, which is amazing because everything else does. These beams don't kill you. They're purple. It's fine.
could I have the mines? Also, hey, Nerdy.
I don't know
Apparently,
where
I
you
don't
are.
feel like absolute crap right now. Well, you were standing next to me. And now
Well, that's
you've
good
disappeared.
because I didn't see you. I'm gonna go stand back next to the geothermals.
Okay, maybe I need to reload.
So Pete's feeling pretty good to be expected today.
Okay, let me reconnect.
I only grabbed one.
Hopefully.
Do they not stack? Well, I would have to make work lights. Like I have these work lights.
I have lights. I'll put lights. I've been the one putting the lights.
Yeah, these lights. It turns everything orange. See?
Alright, well, that's been half an hour, Plum, so, I'm gonna start on the other thing.
I just haven't spent all the time to do it because it's a lot of time and effort to put lights in. And then you got to set them and change the colors and the orange definitely kills you. And I would say it hurts the entire time it kills you. But it kills you so quickly it probably doesn't hurt.
Note to self: ask DJ to add purple pain lasers in Phoenix.
So these lights, the reason these don't kill you is because they're just the regular beams. So these only transfer like 320. If I put a a disco eyeball in it.
Alright, I'm wandering back to the geos.
Yeah. Yep, still don't see it. Oh, there you are.
Well, illumination. One
There you go.
chrome. Oh, do they not stack?
Evidently not.
Well, one is enough for now.
Yeah, and then you got there's some other things that we can put down that cause even more anger. I have these guys here, the conduits, that those kill you instantly too. The disco lasers with these I-beams in here, like you can walk through these, like they hurt a little bit. You see my health goes down a little bit running through them. They tickle. Well, yeah, I gotta turn down. The game is loud, and unfortunately, because of the batteries and everything, this section just gets loud.
Turns out, I did need more than one. Damn it.
I could probably increase the volume a little bit if it needs it. Yeah, there we'll go to 9%. Yeah, I just I try to keep Pretzel just kind of as background music, just so that there's something kind of there. I don't want to be if people want to listen to Pretzel Rocks, they can go listen to Pretzel Rocks. Like, it's really easy. You just download it and press play. Like, you can listen to it. It's free. But you can, but you have to pay for it. You can download stuff from Pretzel and make a playlist on your computer, but you have to. It's a paid option.
Okay, now to go fishing for cryo mines.
You need me to go dig some more Alfred?
Yeah, it turns out I needed more than just one.
Well, I can just put some more diggy things over there.
See, all I need is just enough space to put a couple more blocks in, so I was gonna, like, bomb 2 layers of the cryo mines, and, then...
Evidently, I can't do anything else right now because I'm busy respawning. It's gone well.
Okay, well, got 4 now, so this might be slightly more successful. Because, yeah, the mines, even if they're placed upside down, fire upwards, but they clear the layer they're on. And as I needed to go down 2 layers and forgot that fact, I actually needed 2 of them, not 1 of them. So Small error on my behalf. But, easily rectified. When I inevitably die in a couple of moments, I'll make some more cryo mines.
Ah.
There we go.
Oh, you made it mad. Oh, I gotta run away.
And what is wrong with the pipe? Are we out of distance? I refuse to believe that.
I would hope we're not out of distance, because then we're hosed.
Ah! Ow.
Yeah. Squid demon.
No, I might just have to move the magma storage. You can do that. I was hoping to save that maneuver for... Oh, there we go. Save that maneuver for later, but... Yes, now is later, and the time has come.
Yeah, the squid demon gets upset when you stick the lava flamethrower on it for some reason. I don't know why.
I mean, it's not even turned on. I don't know what it's getting so pissy about. Alright, so I need... this pipe.
I will say that I plan on petitioning DJ and having the cryo spawner renamed to Squid Demon.
Search 1000. No, let me just connect the other pipe real quick.
This is the larger battery. The problem is that where we're at is so cold that, and we're trying to clear the cryo spawners out so that we can basically warm it. I think, does it warm it up or does it always stay cold, Pete? Because I thought the C5 was slowly spreading out to warm it up.
So, original plan with DJs was, yes, this would all get terraformed. Unfortunately, money, time, it never ended up happening, but... Alright, I am short-circuiting pipes. Does anybody happen to remember how far away we can put the big tank magma from a magma ball? Because I don't.
I thought you said it was like 500 or something.
Because yeah, the help is Nope.
You should never be more than an arm's reach away from magma. Those are words to live by.
Yep, 256 meters, so... if I put it by the geothermals, we'll be right. Where's the trench? Here's the trench.
You mean like golf carts? I thought that, well, so the original plan, so for those that don't know the backstory of this game was made a long time ago. It originally came out as like a Minecraft type clone for the Xbox in something called just FortressCraft. And FortressCraft was basically just a Minecraft type building game on Xbox. It was all about creative and just building just being able to build like a Minecraft game on Xbox, because at the time Minecraft wasn't on Xbox. I know it's hard to believe, it was a long time ago, but it originally came out as just FortressCraft, and I think now it's referred to as like Series 1 or something.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. So FortressCraft Chapter 1 is basically just a bunch of creative blocks. I don't even think that it was only a creative game at that point, if I remember right. And it kind of got some traction because it was a Minecraft type game that a console player could play. And then afterwards, we got FortressCraft Evolved, and that was all the stuff on the surface. That was the original tower defense and everything that we have kind of built on the surface right now. This part here is Frozen Factory, which is the first DLC for it. And the Frozen Factory basically brings in the cold caverns, brings in the cryo spawners, brings in the C5 and all that stuff. Then we had the Adventures Pack, which we'll be getting into soon, that allows us to do the railgun and launch stuff into space and stuff like that. So the original plan was to kind of, my understanding was this going to be like a Factorio thing where you kind of built a spaceship, and once you got all that stuff, you escaped, right? You left and you won the game. In the process of doing all this stuff, there's some issues that DJ really doesn't like how the community plays the game. This being one of those issues. He doesn't like us building stuff straight up the walls. And more importantly, he gets really upset when we do this. And build stuff on the roof upside down with stuff on the belts and it not falling off. Because that's not the plan and we shouldn't be allowed to do that. But the problem is since we can do it in the game now, if he changed it, like if he made the change retroactive in game, but if he did that, the community would have frickin' rioted. So, and there's a bunch of other little tweaks and things that he kind of learned afterwards that he wanted to change and wanted to do a different way. So what he's decided to do is create FortressCraft Phoenix, which is basically restarting the game. So he basically finished this one out, basically said, hey, I'm done with this game. The patches are good. The game's stable. Here it is. It's a finished product. And then he started working on a new one. which was mostly funded by people paying money into his Patreon and doing things like that. The problem is even though the players that play this game love it, and it's a very active community and a very we're kind of a fanatical community, because the people that love this game, we definitely love it. We have no qualms about allowing people to know that we love the game. It doesn't pay the bills. It's not enough money coming in for him to be able to have a livable wage. So he had a couple other games that he kind of branched out. He made Nomancer. I think there was an Area 51 game that he built when all the craziness was going on. He had a prior working relationship with Keemstar, so Keemstar basically contacted him and basically paid for a game. Yeah. And well, DJ has no problem upsetting the player base. That's the one thing, whether you like DJ or not. I can respect DJ because he has a vision of the game, and he has no problem telling you what that vision is and sticking to the vision. Now, if something is wrong and seriously busted to the point that it seriously needs to be fixed, we can kind of convince him to listen to us. It takes us a little bit of time sometimes, but we can sometimes get him to listen. And after a period of time, he does listen to the community. But he can definitely be a little bit hard-headed sometimes. But at least he's going to tell you that he's being hard-headed. We know that's the way he is. Can I help you? Is your life horrible? Oh, you think that's that's going to work today, huh? But all things being equal, like, the game is awesome. It's it allows me to build really massive, because you got to remember, like, this thing right here, I have 4 of these, or actually 8 of these things going right now. 4 of them that are actively cooking are trying to clear space to a cryo spawner. That's not good.
Yeah, I wish we could try it. Oh, hang on.
So unfortunately, like, trying to pick all this stuff up and move it and stuff like that, it's almost easier for me just to build new stuff. Because I just go to the surface and pick it up out of the factory. But yeah, so we have this entire massive sprawling, just lasers, everything. Like, in a normal game, like hell, in most games, this fiasco right here would be enough to start causing my computer problems, and it shouldn't be. This game is so well optimized, and DJ is great at optimizing games. Actually have our, because he takes this approach where he doesn't really give a, if he can get an optimization, no matter how small of an optimization is, he will do it every single time he gets a chance, because he understands that over time, like, 1 frame here, 1 frame here, 1 frame here, that adds up. you know, granted, like I'm running, you know, I've got some power on my machine and I have some power in the server. So I have basically right now I have, you know, 18 cores, 18 cores. Yeah, 18 cores, 36 hyper threads. I have, you know, 128 gigs of RAM sitting on my desk right now, like that are just running this game. So I have some power behind it, and obviously, if I go up to the main factory, we'll see. I'll get some hitches, I'll get some lag as stuff loads in. But for the most part, I don't care. For the most part, the game runs really, really well, and you could seriously run this on a potato. Sophie, how you doing? Well, I have 64 gigs of RAM in my desktop, and I have another 64 gigs of RAM in the server. So I have 128 gigs setting in those two computers. Then the and yeah, it's overkill. So it's overkill for probably what I really need and what I really ultimately need. But when I built my desktop, I was like, okay, well, it, you know, it was kind of one of the things that made, like, I justified it at the time because at most part, when I built the computer, I built a computer like 7 years ago. 16 gigs of RAM should have done me fine, right? And 32 gigs. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to 32 gigs. So I have my motherboard has 8 memory slots on it, and I could have bought 4 gig sticks, but the problem is if I put 8 4 gig sticks in there, if I ever needed to upgrade my RAM, I would have to rip all the RAM out and replace it. So that doesn't make sense. So then the next step would have been, well, I could put 4 8 gig sticks in it, but then I would have blank holes where memory sticks could go, and it would bother me. So I just put 8 gig sticks in it, which put me to 64. Because I figured going to 8 16 gig sticks was too much. If you guys want to see some stupid overbuilt computers, my PC building simulator playlist over on YouTube is I make some dumb computers over there. I think I got one computer that I ended up selling for $34,000 or something. Like it's quite dumb. The latest one, I was really proud of myself, and then I think I uploaded it at a bad time. But I uploaded the ultimate Fortnite computer build. All right, Pete. But that one's basically it's just the epic quality computer build with just a bunch of rainbow fans in it. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. But yeah, I was having some fun with it. I have some. If you guys are enjoying that game, or the footage for that game, you can go there and leave comments on it. I'm looking for other games to build computers for, or different computers to build. Unfortunately, the YouTube channel's not doing massively well. It's making progress. I would be happier if it did better, but you know, that could pretty much be said with anything. Oh, extra life. Extra life is. Let's take care of it. Yeah, Pete has the virus of unspecified origins.
Okay, got my breath back now. I think I was just overdoing it with talking at the start.
Yeah, he's I'm trying to make sure he doesn't push himself too much today. I'd much rather Pete get feeling better than. But unfortunately, it's just a matter of the thing right now, right? And it's, it just sucks. And really, all you do is just rest. But he actually got some sleep, so that's an improvement over a normal Pete.
Yeah, I slept for like 18 hours. It was different. We killed the damn spawner yet.
Very close.
Boss. Then I gotta rip up the storage, find the other pipe. Reconnect it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're trying to get this stuff over there, and I've been putting like different content over there. So I've been putting, because I have Cosmoteer or stuff on YouTube. Also, I have some more of the single player stuff. So there's some things we do a lot of multiplayer on stream because it's just kind of what the channel's morphed into. We do a lot of factory building stuff, but like over there, I do Bullet Heaven pet games. I've done some Backpack Hero stuff. We'll probably yay, Cryo's Plasm Spawner's dead. We'll give it a second to get all of the stuff melted out of its way, and then go recover all the pieces. So, but I'm trying to put a little bit of other things up there. I was thinking about I know that new Harry Potter game's supposed to be coming out soon. I may do that and put video over on YouTube for that, which would be something completely different for the channel, but it's single player. So I don't know if streaming it on Twitch would be the best, or I don't know. I'm well, just to get into it. I cover this quite often. I try to be honest about this stuff. I needed to diversify. I fought for a very long time to try and be loyal to Twitch for some dumb reason. I don't know why. Because obviously Twitch doesn't really care. I definitely don't make enough money for Twitch for them to really care about my channel, right? If I make more money for Twitch, then sure they would care. But I don't make enough money for Twitch, and I get that, and I'm okay with it. But I have this weird sense of loyalty for Twitch, and to be honest, Twitch doesn't care, and I'm fine with that. So I don't know why I have this like weird loyalty to them. So to me, it's more important for me the establishing a foothold on YouTube is more about diversifying, growing the channel, trying to do something to get some sort of movement. And I've talked about this several times, but we've had we're pretty stagnant on Twitch right now. No matter how much I've tried over the past probably 2 years, the only movement I had is when we were playing dual universe, we actually saw some increase in dual universe, and part of that's because of the games I play, the niche that I kind of go to, and things I kind of do. So a lot of that's my own fault. Aha. Yeah, Dyson Sphere is an awesome game too.
Are you sure we don't want to try the other one while we're here?
It's up to you. I was thinking that's the stronger one, so but like I wasn't sure if we should wait until the last one, but I think we'll be okay.
Well, my thought was we've got the tank here.
All right, well let's do it then. Yeah, and I think they've made a bunch of improvements. My big problem with Dyson Sphere is the multiplayer is a mod and it's not supported. And I understand why. I completely understand why it's a mod and why it's not supported. Because it's a Chinese company and they're basically in order for a Chinese company to make a game that has multiplayer in it, then people can start talking to each other, and then as soon as people can talk to each other, it has to be regulated, because you may be saying bad things about the Chinese government, and we all know that that's not allowed.
How far away is it? I might just make this easier on myself and bring it out of the ground.
But yeah, so I know there was a mod for the added multiplayer. So, and we looked at that at one point, but that's a whole different game. The other one also, Rift Breaker. Rift Breaker is supposed to be bringing out multiplayer soon. I've been kind of wanting to play that one. The developer sent me a key for that one that I haven't redeemed yet because I'm waiting for multiplayer. So once multiplayer comes out for Rift Breaker, I may look at trying to see if I can pick that one up.
Hey, look, everyone! You can see!
Oh! I almost died.
Well, the shock of being able to see was too much for you?
Yes. Mostly because the light was extremely bright orange and right in my face.
Oh, I can understand.
And powered by a dazzler. I dare say the light was dazzling.
Sorry about the volume there, everyone. Just was trying not to become motor fodder.
So yeah, on YouTube, I'm trying a bunch of different things. I did get the community tab opened over there, but it looks like they've changed the way the community tab stuff works on YouTube. So I think they got wise to us, basically getting ridiculous amount of impressions by just sending stupid posts out. So I think they got rid of that. But I did get that open. Trying to slowly get all that stuff sorted, and trying to. I've been trying to do shorts and stuff over on YouTube also. So you'll see the lights flash every once in a while. So basically, the Lumia stream does the click anytime a clip is made, it does that flash for us. So I'm trying to get better at doing clips myself. I actually have a button I just reach over and press now. What's that?
I dodged the edge of that end of that beam by like a nose hair.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. So I have a button now that I can reach over and just press, and it'll do a clip. The timing's not perfect yet. I don't know how to make the timing better. But at least it throws a clip, and then I can try to make it short from that. So I'm trying to get better at making clips on Twitch. I'm trying to get better at just overly trying to get things to do better. Yeah, I know I have a bunch of short worthy stuff. But the problem is it's trying to find it. Because that's really what my problem is right now. Is it's trying to find the clips and trying to find that stuff. Because it's so much data to dig through, and hours and hours and hours of footage. Because we've been uploading pretty much since we come back. Yay, $10 to Extra Life. Oh God, that's more. See, this is when the realization that I've signed up for something that's gonna murder me dawns on me. So don't get me wrong, I signed up for it. I'm gonna complain a lot, I'm sure, but thank you very much for donating to Extra Life. The hospital really helps. But what's gonna end up happening is every time people do that, I then have to go make the game harder for myself. It's not gonna go well. There's gonna be lots of yeah. I may have ordered something, Pete, that I'm positive I'm going to regret. Yeah, so November 5th and 6th. So basically next Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to 8 p.m. Yeah. Hi. Can I help you? So basically we're trying to get these spawners killed this morning. You're not allowed. No. What are you doing? Why? You're not a lapdog. You're not. You're not a lapdog. You're not. Okay, go lay down. No, go lay down. Good girl. So we'll be starting at 8 a.m. in the morning, and basically, so this is the second set of bosses. We skipped the first set. The first set are still up and active on the surface. We have to build a bunch of stuff. We have to charge basically this giant space laser that comes down and nukes the hives up there. So in the process of doing that, we have this basically a device that increases the threat of the base, and it basically causes more and more bugs to spawn with more and more hit points. So it's a that doesn't look awesome. So basically every time somebody donates money, and my original statement was every $5 will add another threat agitator, but that was, I could have swore that the threat agitators were 5% each time. Now they're 10% each time. So it's a I'm not worried about how much pain I cause myself. I'm worried about what is the most amount of money I can raise for the hospital. And that's literally where I am. As I'm worried, like what is the most amount of money I can raise for the hospital. So, and for those that don't know, I'm obviously a big supporter of Texas Children's. I've gone into it several times in the past. I'm sure I'll go into it several times in the future. But if it wasn't for that hospital, I wouldn't be able to walk. And on a daily basis, there are kids whose lives are changed for the better because of that hospital. So I personally owe Texas Children's Hospital a great debt. They spent 12 hours in an operating room putting my foot back together and basically allowing a 9-year-old boy to be able to walk, to be able to play baseball, to have a normal life, and be able to walk and run and be a kid. Somehow, I'm very lucky. I had a very good surgical team that basically put me back together that day. And they do that work every day, day in, day out. The best thing I can do, in my opinion, to repay them for that is to try to raise money so that they can continue to do that. So they can help another child, and they can keep helping children and keep helping kids be kids. So I can do that by streaming on Twitch, raising money, and doing that stuff. Yeah. So, and that's my story. That's me. Like, I can tell you literally, I could probably sit here for 12 hours and go through every single story of every person that I know who has been touched by Extra Life. Well, not necessarily Extra Life, but Children's Miracle Network, Extra Life by extension, and Primary Children's Hospitals thereby also. Oh, this is going to go poorly. That seems to be slowing down. Like hell, I went to the I went and got a Slurpee yesterday at 7-Eleven, and it popped up with a thing asking me if I want to donate to the Children's Miracle Network, and it was like 79 cents or something. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, I donate through my own thing. Because I donate quite a bit of money to my own Extra Life stream myself. And then I was like, oh no, so we were talking, and it turns out that her sister's kid was born 3 months premature, is at Texas Children's Hospital right now. You know, it's just every time I talk to somebody, it's almost always, and like I've told people, if you live in the United States or Canada, and you do not think that a children's hospital has touched your life in some way, go talk to your mom. Go ask your mom about it. Go ask your mom. Go ask your aunts. Like you probably ask your dad or your uncles too. But usually moms are more sentimental about that stuff. Like go ask them. Like I have just story upon story. Yeah, not born, not able to eat. Yeah. You know, my niece, the only reason she can see out of her eye right now is because of a children's hospital. She had a horrible accident where she got hit in the eye with a zip tie. So she got a bicycle for Christmas, went to pop the manual off of it. The zip tie broke and hit her in the eye and cut her eye open. She had a 5mm scratch in her eye, or cut in her eye. It wasn't a scratch, it was a cut. And they actually got her eye put back together. She can't see out of it right now because she has a really bad the lens is basically completely clouded over, so they have to do a replacement on it, but they don't want to do it until she's older, because when it happened, she was like, I think she was like 10 or 12 when it happened, so she can't really see out of the eye, but they saved the eye, and once they do the cornea replacement, she'll be able to see out of it. They're just waiting for her to kind of stop developing and growing so that they can do the replacement. So they don't have to do the replacement every 6 months. But they saved her eye, like oh, this is oh. Did I fail?
not-
I'm an
Sorry?
idiot. Hey, Pete, you know what would help geothermals a lot?
Well, would it
Freeze
be
on.
freeze on?
Freeze on would help them. You know why we're out of power right now?
Would it have something to do with freeze on?
It might. So maybe this wasn't the strong quarter. Oh, they'll eventually catch back up. It's fine. It's...
Alright.
Yeah, and like, you know, the fact that, you know, they can do all this stuff and on a daily basis, you know, and even when you start getting into like St. Jude's and the medical or the research for cancer treatments, and like they do so much. Like seriously, and then, you know, the Extra Life brand and the development of over the years of raising money and how much that they have raised. Oh yeah, yeah. See, it just, you reach out and it's, you know, it's so many people, so much help that they've done. Now the here's the, so living in the United States, like, yeah, we have some good medical health care and stuff like that. But the problem is like, if I get sick today and I walk outside the front door and I trip over the doggo because they've decided to run in front of me again, and I fall and I break something, and I go to the emergency room. I'm gonna walk in the emergency room. I'll be like, hey, I fell and I broke my hip and I couldn't get up, so now I'm here. That's funny because I'm old. I need help. The first thing they're going to say is, okay, do you have your ID? Okay, good. Let's write that down. Let's get your address. Do you have insurance? They're going to write that down, and then they're going to do all this stuff to figure out if they can get paid and make sure that they get paid, or try to give the best chance for them getting paid. Like, if it's a serious medical emergency, yeah, they'll fix you up. But they're going to figure out how to get paid before you leave that hospital. The difference is with a children's hospital, when a kid goes in there, they take the child back, they find out what's wrong, they start fixing the problem. Once they've got the problem sorted and they've got things figured out, then they come back and they sit down with the parents and they say, okay, how are we going to pay for this? Like, what do you have insurance? Do you have this? Do you have, and they start going through a list of ways to pay for the health care. Once they get all the way to the very end of that list, there's the money we raise, the money that we donate. So that way we're actually helping. And granted, like, the child's already got the health care, like they're okay. We're basically paying for the bills for the health care, so that the kid, not that kid, but the next kid, the hospital's still there for them. We're basically keeping the lights on by paying the bills for, for services. Can I help you? You just need ear scratches? Do you feel better now? Weirdo.
Okay, I'm starting to bring freeze on.
Well, I was thinking about going to go get it, but then I realized that this thing's almost dead, so it's not going to matter in about 10 seconds.
Oh, well. Alright.
Because, yeah, it's going to take, it'll eventually catch back up. The only bad part about it is it's going to take a minute to dig the inferno out. But yeah, so it's, of all the charities, everything that I've done, the charities I've looked at to support, and in the beginning, obviously, yay, Cryo Spawner dead. I'm obviously a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran at that. I'm and there are disabled veteran charities out there specifically with gaming, and I did some work for them, and I just at a point I was starting to spread myself too thin, and I thought I was sending the wrong message to people by trying to support multiple charities and stuff like that. So at the point, I decided to back up and concentrate on a single charity. In the future, we may go back and support the military charity again, and my support, hasn't stopped. Like, obviously, I still think that they're a worthwhile charity, and supporting disabled veterans is amazing. I just, at this point, I was like, I think I made a choice, and I made a decision, and I think that's a choice and a decision that most disabled veterans, if it was like, oh, you can help us or you can help kids, most disabled veterans would say, no, please go help the kids. I think that as a disabled veteran, and knowing most of the people that I've worked with in the military, I think most of them would tell me to go work for the kids. So I work for the kids.
Alright, well, if you want to fish out the Inferno, now that I've got some cryo here to cryo.
It looks dangerous over there.
Well, problem.
So good, bad, and different. It's the charity that I've chosen to align myself with. It's and I think it's a good charity, because there's a lot worse ones out there. And at least all the money goes to the hospital. And that's the reason it's set up the way it is, where if you click on the link, you go to Extra Life site, they handle all the processing, they handle everything. I don't touch the money, I don't see it, I don't do nothing. Because it's just, I think it's safer and better that way. It removes a lot of questions. Because unfortunately, there's some crappy people that use their spots as an influencer to do things they shouldn't do.
I'm picking up the magma doobie. What's it?
So I find it's a lot easier to not put myself in a position where there's a question as to where the money goes, or what was done with it. Makes it a lot safer for everybody involved. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of stuff on the old YouTube here lately about people making horrible choices and doing some less than stellar things.
People on YouTube making terrible choices.
Yeah, I know, it's hard to believe.
I've got 3 Infernos, so as long as you get at least 24 of them, we're fine.
I get 27.
Awesome.
But yeah, so especially when it comes to charity, stuff like that, I think it's best to be completely transparent. Make sure that people know exactly where the money's going, and And if you do decide to give to a charity, like I'm more than happy to have money raised for the charity that I've chosen to support. But you should, before giving money to a charity, go look at the charity. Do your own research. Like I'm a talking head. I sit here on a camera and spout my garbage. Like, go do your own research. Go figure out and that's, I think, well, that's the problem with the world is people don't think for themselves anymore. Because like we're not doing that anymore, evidently. All right or left, Pete?
That's up to you. I have to.
I'll move the.
I gotta plug the storage in. As to where, I don't know. Let's see if this is the right location.
Yeah, it's so, and I'm not talking about, like, don't even get me started on conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like, oh God. So trying to say something like I'm a critical thinker and then trying to not actually look at stuff, that's a problem too. The whole virus of unspecified origins and like, and don't get me wrong, like I don't think distrusting the government is a conspiracy. I don't think you should trust the government because they're out in their own interest and they're not out in my interest. So as far as I'm concerned, most things to do with the government are conspiracies. They're just theories. But when you're coming to stuff that's actually got scientific proof behind it, like climate change and whether the Earth is round or not, and whether space exists, you're not being a critical thinker anymore. Like, we've passed that now. But yeah, critical thinking and actually looking at stuff and scientifically, trying to figure out whether something exists or it's a thing or not. That's yeah, it's a thing. It's something we should look at.
Oh, only one of them.
I see. I don't think I could ever meet a flat earther. I don't think it's gonna go well because I'm not going to listen because I've spent years inside of a submarine, literally traveling around the Earth. Like this is all. The one thing I would love to see is I would love to see somebody's actual working model of a flat Earth and explain to me why, if I live on a flat plane, I can't see the sun at all times. That's all I want. Because it doesn't work any other way. But I've seen obviously the curvature of the Earth because it's there. I spent years on a submarine. I know for a fact, all joking aside, the 20 or 15 degrees per hour drift thing rate, right? I think it's 15. Like I've seen that. I've had to compensate for it. I know for a fact it's there. So I've seen it with my own eyes, and I know that it's there. It's a Great Wall of Ice, yeah. It's
plugged in.
His technology show us fake images. What's that?
I plugged in. Did you go left or right?
I went to the right. I just didn't know where to put this thing in at.
Alright, so obviously don't build the final block of it, but if you put an alloyed block on the side, and then put an alloyed block underneath that, so you'll have to navigate yourself to a lower vantage point. There are clear path. Alright, got the pipe on its way.
Alright, so I got one next to it and one below it.
Okay, now place your first Inferno block under that. One on its left, one on its right. Because yeah, that's your position. Once you've got the top 9 in, make sure you remove the alloyed blocks so that it's got a good line of sight on the Yeah, no, I had a fun work call-outs at one point.
Well, I had obviously I've been in the military. I don't hide that fact. I was actually an instructor at a place called Tri-Trace in Bangor, Washington. And I did that for a few years. And I did really well as an instructor. I actually really enjoy instructing and teaching and sharing information with people. At the time, I was an E5, so I was a second class. Oh geez, I put all the blocks in feet.
Oh shit. Well, I can't get the pipe there because there's too much cryo.
Can I pull one of the blocks out and make it less angry?
Hopefully, because we don't have the pipe there.
All right, I pulled it out. See if it makes it less angry. So I went in, and part of that process is that when you're on platform, you have to get an evaluation done to you to basically make sure you're teaching and you're doing the correct things and make sure that you're up to the standards of an instructor, right? And part of that was I had to go into other people, because like people come in and do it for me, I have to go back and do it for them. And we had one of the other gentlemen that we had that was on platform, and it was my turn to go in and give him an evaluation. And I sat in the back of the room, and basically you just sit in the class and sit in the back and just kind of take notes of what's being said, and make sure that he's following his instructor guide, and generally just I may have lost the block.
It's okay, so long as the space is still free.
Yeah, it's in the back in the middle. So I'm sitting in the back, and I don't even remember what he was teaching that day. So it was all navigation stuff, right? And this dude just starts going off like the deepest government conspiracy rabbit hole. Like, and mind you, he's sitting up there as I think at the time, I can't remember if he was a first class or a chief. And I'm a second class, so I was an E5, and he was either E6 or E7. And he's talking to like E3s and E4s, talking about how like the the government's out to get people, and like there's this massive network of tunnels under the United States that we can drive submarines through to get them from one side of the from the Atlantic to the Pacific and back and forth, and we could drive a submarine straight up under the White House to evacuate the president, and like just stuff that's not true at all. And I'm sitting in the back going, what the hell am I sitting in? Just writing notes. So I was very professional. I tried to so I got up afterwards. I walked over to the chief's office. I'm like, yeah. The guy I'm evaluating is doing this. And I wish I was making it up. I really do. I really wish I was making it up. So I walk over into the instructor's office. I was like, hey, Chief, I don't even know where to start, but we got a problem. And so I went and talked to Chief and sat down and told him what I had. And so he pulled a couple of the guys that were in class in there, kind of asked them, and they were like, yeah, dude, he's fucking off the deep end. I don't know where he went. I never saw the dude again. He was gone. Matter of fact, they come back for break. They had a different instructor. I was like, I don't know what happened to it. But I was like, you can't be doing shit like that, man.
Yeah, I had to do IT support at one point to a flat Earth convention.
Oh God. So
you could imagine how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And it happens, right? So the problem is, and if you guys don't watch it, there's a show on True TV called Adam Ruins Everything, and it's done by Adam Conover, I think is his name. I love the show. It's an amazing show, and he basically goes in and dispels like myths, right? And it's this, he goes and like he's like, okay, hey, this isn't right. This is a common misconception. This is the actual proof, and this is where we found the proof, and this is what we have. So please, if you don't believe us, go do your own research. This is a good place to start. And he kind of went into this whole thing about conspiracy theories and why they're so bad, and like once somebody starts believing in conspiracy theory, why it's a really bad thing, right? Because first of all, once somebody starts believing in a conspiracy theory, there's nothing you're going to do to convince them that they're wrong. Like there is nothing I can, if somebody's truly convinced that the earth is flat, there is nothing I can do that is going to convince them that it's not. Like I could go take somebody that believes that the earth is flat, I could put them in a rocket ship, fly them into space, and have them look and see that the earth is round and that it's spinning, and land back on the planet, and they're going to tell me that I drugged them and hit them with hallucinogens. Nothing I can do to convince them, right? Because it doesn't fit their narrative, and their brain doesn't allow that to make sense. So the problem is once you believe in one conspiracy theory, it allows you to believe that other ones are, and it starts causing problems. Yeah. So yeah. No, they're not listening because you're not reinforcing what they want to hear, so they're not going to believe you, because you're a sheep. You have the wool pulled over your eyes. You don't know what the real truth is. Like they know the real truth, right? And I'm sure I have things that I'm like, okay, but I try to remind myself, if somebody's very adamant that they're right, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. And you actually have to listen, because if you actually listen, sometimes, surprise, you might learn some shit. And that's the thing, right? Is in order to learn things, you have to be open to new things. Now, there's some things, somebody comes up and tries to convince me that the Earth is flat, and that, you know, I'm sorry. My number one argument for the us living on a globe is that there's cats here, and if the Earth was flat, cats would have done shoved everything off the edges. Come on, come at me.
I mean, you're not wrong.
If the Earth was flat, there'd be nothing here because cats would have shoved everything off the edges. Hi, doggos. Hi. This is why I have doggos. Hi, doggos. What? Why? You keep coming over here. Nope, nobody's done it. Yeah. Oh, I know. So, but there's lots of other theories too, right? And there's some things that, like, you're like, okay, that's feasible. You know, there's some things that complete as a myth. Yeah, there was a. It's just Narnia. It exists in books only. I was watching.
Yeah.
There was some Scottish dude that I guess there's a he died from lasers again. That there's some theory that Australia doesn't really exist, and that it's just it's a story that shit's nice. That it's a lie told by the British government, because they, instead of sending all their prisoners to Australia, they basically just shipped them out into ships and it could never be seen from again. So Australia was a lie to cover up the biggest genocide in history. I guess it's the reasoning.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up. I wish you did. And the dude, like, I guess they flew him to Australia, and he's convinced that Australia isn't real, that they actually flew him to New Zealand and gave him drugs, and that kangaroos are robots.
But New Zealand is... Sorry, I'm trying to apply sanity and logic to this. I need to stop.
There's none. New Zealand's right next to Australia. So if Australia doesn't exist, then why would New Zealand be there? It makes no sense. Like, I don't know if I want to live in a world that Australia doesn't exist. Australia is just too cool of a place to not exist, other than the fact that everything that's there tries to kill you. That part's kind of sad.
Well, look at it this way. We take the majority of everything that's trying to kill people, so the other countries don't have to. We're doing it a service.
Taking one for a team. Way to be a team player, Australia.
I mean, we took the convicts, then we took all the humongous spiders and a lot of the snakes and shit, and just, like, you know.
Now we just gotta find a way to get Florida down there. Yeah, so I don't know. There's some weird stuff. And the problem, and a lot of this stuff comes from celebrities, you know, trying to, you know, think that they know what is best, or have some weird theory, or, you know, be out doing you know, illegal recreational, you know, processes, and coming up with off the wall freaking theories, and, you know, the whole you know, is Goofy a dog or a man? You know? that whole line of thought. So if somebody mentions something about, you know, trying to some weird thought process, and then somebody takes it as like, oh, this is a real thing. Oh, so we've gone down a rabbit hole today, Pete.
Oh, you know.
We started out destroying cryo spawners, and now we've decided that Australia's not real.
I decided a long time ago on the whole Scooby-Doo, is he a dog or a man, is Scooby-Doo is a completely normal dog. And
no,
all the
Scooby-Doo's a dog. But
well,
Goofy.
I came up with a fairly rational explanation for it. So Shaggy, obviously, based on the type of character in that, does drugs. In the
He does a lot of drugs.
In the back of the van with everyone in it.
Yeah.
So it's not unreasonable to think that everyone else might be slightly affected and might be susceptible to the idea of a talking dog.
Hey, the only thing that they haven't shown is him actually, you know, doing you know, the old happy grass. But we all know it. That's why they're so focused on Scooby snacks. Come on, man. We know. So I'm pretty sure he's hallucinating the dog talking to him. But Goofy on the other hand, like who knows? Because that's the messed up part. Is because he's like a dog man, but he has a dog, so that's some weird stuff. Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, let's not go down the Disney rabbit hole of talking mice.
I'm sorry. I just heard the door. I think I got a cease and desist.
Oh, yep, there's one in my inbox.
Yeah. Ding, ding. The mouse house has showed up. Oh, God, I'm horrible. Oh, almost done. Oh, no, they'll extend it again. The Steamboat Willie thing comes out because it's approaching the end of the copyright again. But all they'll do is Disney will just throw a bunch of money at it and extend the copyright so they can keep defending it. Because that's what keeps extending copyrights for stuff, is because Disney keep basically pushing to extend the copyright so that nobody else has access. Because as soon as Steamboat Willie goes public domain, that allows anybody to basically draw pictures of Mickey Mouse.
Could you imagine if that happened, though?
Yeah, Disney will never let that happen. They will throw so much money at it. They you know, they're going to throw Avengers money at that, right? So you throw a couple of $1 billion at that patent will never expire. And every time, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. You think that would have been a little bit widely publicized? I know it's scheduled to happen every once in a while, but I know they always push it back. I'll have to do some research after and see. If not, I need something that's not the Onion to tell me that that's true. All right, almost done. 4 cryo spawners, or 3 cryo spawners in 2 hours so far. So we should be able to get the last one before the end of the stream. And then if you guys are talking about YouTube and crazy stuff over there, so I do have a bunch of stuff that I put over on YouTube. We have a Cosmo Tier playlist that I've been putting together. I have PC Building Simulator 2 over there. We have some Bullet Heaven stuff. We have stuff for Insect Swarm, Run Build Q, Project Lazarus, Bounty of One, a couple other ones over there too. And then I'll probably be going over there this afternoon again and doing a stream this afternoon maybe. I've been trying to do a stream or two over there. I meant to do a stream the last couple of days, but it's just been unfortunately I ended up with a migraine yesterday, just not feeling super well, and my voice was a little scratchy, so I didn't stream yesterday. But I may try to stream over there today. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely go over and give me a little sub loving over there.
Alright, you got the Inferno?
I haven't picked it up yet. I'm going to make it dangerous to stand over there.
Alright, because I'm about to... I've already built most of the pipe. We just got to go and shove an Inferno in there.
I'm gonna dig some ice out of it so I don't have to stand on it and freeze to death. My feeties get cold. But yeah, so if you want to give me a little bit of sub love over there, that'd be great. I think we're just over 60 subs over there, so it's growing. And like I would love to say that the yellow drop to my right.
Oh, well, it's probably an eye or something. With the glow, it may have been orange. It's showing yellow.
As I see it, yes. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about that thing over there?
Oh, yeah, there's a hive brain over here.
Yeah.
Man,
So when you kill the... Yeah, that was a hive brain.
Could you put an alloyed block under this corner? Window block, rather.
Oh, the far corner I didn't get, damn it.
Okay.
Got it.
I mainly wanted to make sure I had somewhere to stand while I did this. 25, 26. Alright.
Yeah, it was the hive brain. So I have brains right here. See, brains.
Let's go murder you an 8th hive and give you the 8 lights in the dark achievement.
So don't do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So we've actually killed the cryo spawners before the overmines. So there's the 4 guys on the surface that you're supposed to kill before you start this. When we told DJ we were thinking about doing this, his response was no. It's a bad idea. Don't.
I screwed that up. Alright.
So our response was, well, why not? He's like, I don't recommend it. So what did I do? I bought a bigger processor. So all things being considered, after the initial crash of the server, it's ran pretty well. So, because what happens is when you spawn the cryo spawners, right? They have to build all this goo around them, and that basically builds out around it, and then starts driving towards the center, and it's a lot of terrain generation, basically. He was worried about all the terrain generation with the bugs still going. It's a lot of stuff for the server to handle, and originally it crashed the server. And all joking aside, we laughed. We knew it was a possibility. We weren't even sure it was going to work. But I have to convince DJ that we should have an achievement for killing the cryo spawners before you kill the overminds. To which he's going to tell me he's not going to encourage bad behavior again.
Well, he does it. There's an achievement for getting killed by the drill.
Yeah.
So, which, by the way, all you're going to do is stand in the middle of the drill.
Oh, speaking of which, I should go do that while we're... But yeah, so yeah, originally I wanted an achievement for having way too much threat. I was like, you should give us an achievement for hitting 1 million threat, which like on a regular computer, like especially if you're on a potato, you don't do that. It's gonna melt your computer. Once we actually start getting into this and launching thousands of missiles per minute, and it's gonna start causing problems. We're gonna be doing stuff that really shouldn't be done, and it's just generally a bad plan. I'm gonna go stand in the middle of the drill.
Oh, your health regen's beating it. You're gonna have to take some fall damage first.
It's fine.
Or maybe when you run out of power, it might kick it out.
There it goes. Oh, and I've got to beat the hypothermia. Oh, died. Or you just... Yes, I'm achievement hunting. It's an achievement I didn't have and I needed.
Alright. Is there a battery here? Because I need to charge my...
So DJ, he has a sense of humor. Like, all joking aside, he has a sense of humor. And he is a funny guy. But he has a British sense of humor, which is very dry. So if you don't understand that, sometimes it comes across as he's being a dick. To be perfectly fair. So if you're not ready for that, then it happens, right? So a lot of people think that he's really rude, and he just is basically making himself laugh. I'm not saying his jokes are good. I'm just saying he really doesn't mean bad by a lot of things. Is this the right way? I think this is the right way. But yeah, so he has silly things like that. Like when you beat, I think when you beat the first Cryo spawner, the achievement is let me go look it up right now. It is the flat earthers were right. Defeat a Cryo spawner and unlock the flat mode. Yeah, so that achievement was I fought the boar and the boar won. I got one. It's the house that Dyer built. It's a Bobby Dazzler, which is basically get killed by a Dazzler. So he has a lot of fun with his stuff, and he does, you know, like I said, the big difference is DJ actually gives a crap about the game. He does care about the community, and he does want the game to succeed. I think I went the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the one with the brain. But yeah, we are burning the last one.
Next. But yeah, so I don't have a problem supporting a dev that like actually cares about the game, cares about the community, and stuff like that. That's why I love this game, and I'm glad he's back to working on FortressCraft Evolved, or FortressCraft Phoenix, which is basically the next version of the game, and I'm interested to see where it goes, and to see what he does next. And then even with Astro Trucks and stuff like that, even though we've tried to get Astro Trucks to work a couple of times, and the connection or the control scheme to that one just makes my brain hurt.
Ooh, I had a thought on that. We need to forcibly enable the Steam controlling system, and then go into Steam's big picture mode and remap the controls.
Okay.
Because we can then flip the axes and do all sorts of things.
Are you a plum?
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that one would have to be like die like 10 times in a single gaming session or something. Or it would have to be, you know, you'd have to be killed by the magma boar, the Dazzler, the Tier 3 laser, and a what's the other one? And a conduit. you get killed by everything, and then you get Are You a Plum? And then it makes it double funny because plum and I think is British slang for like not a very smart person. Oh, and you have to fall from a great height and die too. Why? Well, elevating. Yeah, it would have to be one of those things like once you get all the achievements for every way that you could die, it opens that achievement. So the good news is especially with this, because where we're set, is normally when these things basically surge, right? They're surging directly back at the C5. The difference is I've come this way. So they'll never surge up that way. They're surging at an angle towards the C5. So I'm kind of cheesing it a little bit. And instead of having to fight with it to get basically it surge in and kill my power and back out and surge in, it surges off to a side. So we can just kind of melt it from the side. All right, so the good news is this looks like we're going to finish this thing out today. So we'll have all 8 of the cryo spawners done. I really wanted them done before today, but it works out. We'll be all right. And then, so the rest of the week is going to be basically building defenses to start defending against your guys' donations. So I'll ask you guys here real quick while there's still a few people in chat. So do you think that we should do $5 per threat agitator, which is what we've always done, but I think in the past it was 5%. Now they're 10%. Do you think we should go from it should be $10 per agitator or $5 per agitator? Obviously, $5 per agitator allows you guys to cause a lot more threat a lot faster. $10 means that we would raise more money to get to that level. I'm of the thought process of whichever way would cause you guys to donate more money, I want to do that. So, and that's seriously my only outcome of this is to the more money I can have donated to the hospital, whatever pain I need to cause to myself for that to happen, I'm okay with. And there's some limits on that. Like I'm not going to be, like spraying myself with pepper spray or anything, because I'm not doing that again. Because pepper spray sucks, by the way, but that's a different story. But yeah, so whatever we can do to raise money for the hospital and raise awareness, I'm all for it. So I don't know. At this point, I'm probably just going to leave it the way it was, because that's kind of what I've been saying we were going to do this year. And I don't like changing the story after donations have been starting to be added. But if people want to go to the 10 per threat agitator, I'm fine with that too. Even though the $5 per agitator would make it a lot easier for us to taunt DJ with increasingly high threat agitator numbers again. I really hope this year we beat the last one. Well, it's easier to do 5 or 10. Because if I do 750, then it makes it harder to. The math is harder, right? Yeah, it's fine. No, it's a valid idea. But yeah, just the math starts getting weird. So I do have another item coming in. I think maybe today. Before I put that out there, though, I'm gonna have to try and wear them for a little while and try to play a game with them and see how bad it is, because yeah, it's supposed to be today. Well, so I guess the question is how do you feel? Why do you feel? I guess more value for the money would be $5, right? Because if you can do $5 and that as an agitator, you're gonna feel more accomplished, right? It's just it's a fairness thing and a multiplication thing. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stay at $5, just because that seems like a fair thing to do. And I think in the long run, that's probably going to generate more money, because then somebody can donate $5 and they'll feel like they've accomplished something, right? So, and the way it's going to work also, and I'll have to probably get the thing going this afternoon. So if you guys haven't been around for one of these in the past, I highly recommend marking your calendars and coming back. I'm going to have a list of probably in excess of 200 games. It's usually in that range. I don't have an exact number yet because I need to go build the list. So all the keys I have on Humble Bundle, because I have Humble Bundle monthly or Humble Choice, and I might get 1 or 2 keys every couple of months out of there. So that gets me another 100 keys a month or 100 keys a year, that just slowly add. So what I do is I go through all my Humble Bundle keys, everything that's there. I put those all in a spreadsheet, and every time we have a $10 donation, or every time we cross our $10 donation, I give a key away. And every hour I give a key away. Every time I feel like it, I give a key away. And basically what you do is, if you win the giveaway, you get to go into the list and you get to choose one of the keys, and I'll go in, I'll pull the key out of Humble Bundle and send it. And I do that immediately. So there's no requirements. You don't have to donate. You don't have to do anything. The only requirement is that you follow the channel and that you're here, because you have to be here to enter it. And I will tell you, I haven't been running them lately, but I do have the ability to basically do stealth giveaways. I promise you, there'll be a giveaway and you won't even know about it, and then magically you won't even know you entered and you'll just win. It's glorious. Because I have somebody that has made me things that allow me to do fun bot things in the background like that. So the way that works is the team announcer bot that we have, that basically when people come in that are on the same team as I am, so Evie and Damaged and those guys, when they do come in and they speak and it says, hey, fellow member of the Cornerstone team, that's all team announcer bot. Well, something else it does too is every time somebody chats, it has to do a check to find out whether they're on the same team I am. It also does a check to find out if the game that I'm actively playing, if the last game that you streamed was the same game, it gives you a shout out also. It does a lot of that stuff automatically. It's the same thing with if I haven't had a message in like 2 minutes, it gives me the ding you hear every once in a while. So to remind me, hey, it's been 2 minutes. Somebody just chatted in the stream. You should go read chat. So it just gives me a little reminder. But then the other thing it does is I can set up a timer that will actually look to see for a predetermined amount of time. I basically push the button, and then as people enter stuff into chat, it eventually will, once the timer reaches out, it goes and randomly picks one of the people that have chatted in chat and basically announces them as a winner. So basically you can just enter by just chatting. So, and I do that because obviously having people chat is helpful to the stream. It shows interaction. It shows, Twitch that people are here and we have an active community. So I wanted to reward the people that are actively talking in the stream. This thing's almost dead.
I'm writing up a short little message to send to DJ post murderizing the spawner.
Saying that we've killed it.
Well, basically saying, hey, we did the thing we were told not to do, and the only 3 things which are our fault are we initially had a humongous overload of build orders due to tunnel nukers still going.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get to see if it would recover because we had a hive mind dive, and due to lack of build orders, it failed to drop, failed to move, failed, and crashed the node workers. But it's been fine since. And the only other issue is we've got to reboot every day to keep our mass storage arrays working properly.
Yeah.
But that's probably our fault, having arrays of 200 to 400 crates.
Colonel Central neutralized Cryo spawner. I didn't get the achievable.
You didn't? What?
That makes me sad because the whole reason we did that was to get the achievable. So or do I have to? No, yeah, you have to launch the railgun to get GPS.
Oh, GPS is a different one. Yeah, no, the achievement you should have gotten was 8 lights. I might have to check the code and see where that one triggers, unless it has a check to see if, you know, the CPH has done its thing.
Seventh circle. Sorry, I'm looking through my achievements real quick to find out.
You know, I've scrolled up and down this list a couple of times.
Let there be light. Please configurable light.
And I can't see the achievement. Maybe
Be the
8
cryo
lights
spawner.
is the
Did on a
research.
plasma for too long.
I think 8 lights was the research that I'm getting mixed up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing lights or anything.
But I mean,
Yeah, I don't see another cryo spawner when I think I have all of them.
yeah, defeated the cryo spawner and unlocked flatland mode. As long as you have flat earthers, we've got that unlocked for you.
Yeah, I've got that. Alright, so we're slowly getting in there. Don't stand in that, that hurts.
Yeah, I thought that was
All right.
another achievement for getting all 8. My bad.
No, you're fine. Yeah, because the next one we have is just basically launch the so
Yeah,
the
so
the plan with that will be to so we're planning to beat November 5th and 6th. We'll kill all the overmines. Once we get the overmines killed, we'll end those streams. We'll take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to try to launch the railgun as fast as we can. It's going to take. Yeah, so this is all done. Now we can go back to the surface. As soon as I remember where that is. Well, the server should be running a lot better now.
well, yeah, it'll take a couple of days for everything to clear up, but
Actually, it seems like it's going better already.
Oh,
To be fair, it seems like it's running better already. Yeah,
all right. Well, the next thing we have to do is kill all the hive minds that have popped up, because that's fun.
yeah. I think that's going to be. Oh, it's been a while since I've come back up here. I almost killed myself. That's good. Oh, no, I didn't kill myself. I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, so the plan here is to kind of build as much as we can, get as kind of as much as we can going, so that as many missiles as we can, and just generally just be as prepared as we can for you guys. I'm planning for well in excess of probably 300 to 500,000 threat, and being able to deal with that. So we'll see how that works out for us. It may work okay, it may not. Who knows? Unknowns should be interesting. I think it's pretty much killing everything here. Pretty much the only thing that's the only thing I'm not destroying is the stingers, because the stingers all go over here. To this, that's all power. They're all fine. We'll get some more of that here in a minute. But the stingers all go into here. So basically they get brought into here. That gets transferred over to here. The stingers then get transferred back here. And then once the stingers get into here, they get turned into missiles. So we currently have 59,000 armor-piercing missiles. He's left. He's had enough of my crap.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. I clicked back on the game to tab back in and clicked quit.
That makes sense. That sucks.
I sent you the paragraph of text proof.
Okay.
So after stream, I'll look at that, and then I'll fire it at DJ's face.
All right. I think before we get into building this, I think I'm gonna go ahead, because I played a lot of FortressCraft this weekend. Trying to get all the stuff built so that we could kill all those things this morning. It took some time. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to shut down for a little bit. My voice is starting to get a little scratchy. So instead of pushing it, I think we'll go find someplace to go hang out. I'll let the voice kind of rest. and then we'll either I'll make some videos or we'll see.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe I
that
go
is-
live later on YouTube. We'll see.
That is running a lot better. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's amazing how much better it's running now.
Like, I'm in multiplayer, and, yeah, I'm not catching up to segments.
Yeah. All right, I don't really see anybody up and running this morning, so we're gonna let Twitch do what Twitch does, and we'll talk to you guys soon. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, I would appreciate likes and subscribes and all that stuff. Comment if you would, please. And with that, we'll let you guys go. And thank you guys for coming and hang out with me. It's nice to have people to watch. You guys be safe. Talk to y'all soon.